keep fading lovers, we keep wasting color.
Hey everyone, so today's video is going to be a story time, and this incident actually happened last weekend. So it was probably one of the most scariest moments of my life, and I just wanted to share it with you. So this happened on a Sunday night that I was working an evening shift. So usually when I go to work, my goal of the day is to walk at least 2 kilometers, and in the winter time, since it's a little bit colder and whatever, I make a goal to walk at least 1 kilometer. And so what ends up happening is I'll go for a walk to either Tim Hortons or to the mall or somewhere to get coffee, somewhere to get food. This particular night I decided to go to Tim Hortons, and I took my break around like 9:15-ish. So what ends up happening is it gets dark pretty early in the day. It'll get dark around like 4 p.m. really super early. And you know, at first I was kind of like not used to it, but I ended up like still running with my dog because the weather's been pretty good up until like 2 weeks ago. So I would go for runs really late at night and stuff, like, not really late at night, but like in the dark basically, because at 4 o'clock it would be dark already. So I kind of got into the mental thought of like, oh, it's dark, it's not that late, like 9 o'clock, it's still as dark as it was like at 4. So I figured, you know what, it's okay. Like, I really didn't know where I wanted to go that night. I just wanted to go for a walk. I should have probably just walked around my work campus or whatever, but yeah, I don't know what happened. So I ended up walking my friend to her car, and then I was like, maybe I should just go get coffee, you know, it's kind of cold outside, I'll go for a walk, I'll go to Tim Hortons. So I ended up walking to Tim Hortons in the mall that's across from, okay, there's 2 Tim Hortons by my work. There's one that's on one side by like this like strip mall area, and there's a lot of like homeless people that hang out there. There's like a big parking lot and a bunch of trees, and they kind of all sleep in that area, so I don't really feel safe going to that one at night. So I decided to go to the other one that's on the other side of my work, and that one is a little bit further away, but it's a little bit safer because you're going through the mall basically, but the mall at this time was closed obviously. So basically it's like at the back of the mall. You have to walk either through the mall or around the mall to get to it. This particular night the mall was closed, and there was, I don't know, so I was walking through the parking lot and I noticed that there was a cop car, and they were like obviously looking for someone. They were just kind of like parked by, I think it was the bay or something. There's this like group of trees, like this little, I don't know, this little park area in the parking lot, and there's a bunch of trees there, and the cops are kind of parked outside that, just like on a stakeout. It looked like I don't know if somebody had robbed one of the stores in the mall or like who they were looking for, but it was kind of odd that they were parked there because I'd never seen them there before. But anyways, I was like, oh, whatever, like it's probably better that they're here. I'm probably more better off, you know, like I feel more safer walking in the dark by myself if, you know, cops around. So I kind of like walk past them and I go around to the Tim Hortons. I had the most craziest annoying Tim Hortons experience that night. Sure, if you're from Canada and you go to Tim Hortons, I'm pretty sure that at least from one point or another, like you've had a bad experience where either they run out of your favorite donut or they run out of coffee or something crazy just happens there. And for me, that particular night was a crazy experience. Like I ended up waiting forever in line. There was only one person ahead of me. Like, yeah, it was not fun. And they did actually run out of my favorite coffee, so I ended up getting something else. Yeah, so anyways, I walk out of Tim Hortons. I'm kind of annoyed by this point, and I'm walking through the parking lot again. I want to mention that my phone is in my hand at all times because I play Pokemon Go, and you know, you have to like walk around to like hatch your eggs and catch Pokemon and stuff. So I walk around with the app just like open on my phone, and either my phone in my pocket or my phone in my hand. This particular night my phone was in my hand and I was holding my coffee in the other hand. So I started walking back to work, and right before I turned the corner to go around the mall again to go back to work, I see the cops heading out like toward the Tim Hortons, I guess. Like I was like, okay, whatever, they probably found who they were looking for, or you know, maybe they're just like driving back around the mall or something like that to try and look for them. I have no idea. But anyways, the cops like drive by me, and then right as soon as they drive by, pretty much like I walk maybe like 100 meters or something. I'm walking straight to go around the mall to the other side, and there's a little group of trees, not as big as the trees that the cops were parked in front of, but like big enough to where somebody could hide behind them or something like that. And I see this dark figure and it's coming towards me, and I just don't pay attention to it because, you know, it's like freezing cold outside. It's like -10 or whatever. There's ice everywhere. There's ice like all over the parking lot, and you know, it's like whatever. There's people that probably walk from like the train station, or you know, like from one of the, there's like a strip mall that's on the one side of the mall where I work behind it basically, so I have to walk around the strip mall and then get to my work. So like there's a couple stores that are open there. There's a pizza place and like another restaurant. So I was like, you know, I didn't really pay attention to it until this guy starts yelling at me. He's coming towards me and I'm walking the opposite way, like to this side, and he's like going like that towards me. I'm turning this way. So there's like a bunch of trees. I'm walking like into the trees pretty much, because if I walk that way and then cut through them, I am closer to my work basically. So yeah, he's walking towards me. I don't pay attention to him at first. And then he starts playing, and I first think that he's on his phone or something, so I don't pay attention to him, and he's still like walking towards me, and I walk like a little bit faster, and then he walks a little faster, and then I obviously again, and obviously he's talking to me. He's been yelling at me this whole time. He's saying, "You blonde bitch, get over here and bend a spoon for me. Bend a spoon for me." He's just like screaming it, and like I honestly don't know what that means. I still don't know what that means. I don't know if it's like something sexual or something like to do with drugs or something. I have no idea, but yeah, anyways, he's basically yelling at me, "Blonde bitch, bend a spoon for me," blah blah blah. Like he's screaming, and I get to see like what he actually looks like, and he's sketchy as fuck. Like he looks like a homeless guy that's either on drugs or drunk or has some sort of mental disorder, or all three combined. He's not like one of those people that you'd want to be walking in front of or in a parking lot by yourself in the dark. So yeah, anyways, he starts following me, and I'm walking towards the trees. I'm like, I don't think this is a good idea. So I turn the other way towards the what's it called, the strip mall that's on the other side, because I know that there's some stores that are open through there. And honestly, I can outrun any person usually on a good day, because like I run at least 5 to 10k a day with my dog. So I'm pretty good with running, and I can definitely outrun this guy, especially if he's drunk or whatever. Like I'm pretty sure I could outrun him. But anyways, my shoes had no grips whatsoever, and the parking lot is just covered in ice because it had snowed the night before, and in the day it was a little bit warmer, so the snow melted, and then it was getting a little bit colder because it was -10, and like the parking lot was just covered in ice. So I had to go through that, and that's why I was walking towards the trees, because there's kind of like a pathway through there, and it has like road salt on it or whatever. So I was going that way so I could avoid all of the ice. But basically this guy was coming towards me. I had no choice but to run through the ice. He's following me, he's yelling at me, and I kind of like look around to see if there's anybody else in the parking lot. There's absolutely no one there whatsoever. So it was just me and this guy that was chasing me, and a bunch of ice. So I start kind of like jogging through the parking lot on the ice, and then I obviously have my phone in my hand. My first instinct is to call my boyfriend, because I want him to like be that calming presence there. I know he's probably like worried and mad at me at the same time for deciding to walk by myself at night, because he's told me so many times like, that is so dangerous, blah blah blah, I don't want you walking at nighttime. And yeah, so I call him, and he basically like talks to me, tries not to lecture me, which I appreciate. And I finally get to the strip mall that's on the other side of the parking lot, and I don't even bother looking behind me because I'm too terrified at this point. And there's like a bunch of stores that are open. There's like a pizza shop and like other stores. By this point, I have like a minute walk to my work. I just have to walk across the street, and usually outside my work there's a bunch of people smoking. So you know, if this guy's still following me, I can just, you know, I'm sure one of them would have helped me, right? So I basically decide not to stop at the pizza place and call the cops or anything, because I know that they're in the parking lot. I just don't, it doesn't register in my mind to actually do that. And then again, I also have a coffee in my hand, so if this guy is actually, you know, I don't mind like wasting my coffee by like throwing it at him or something. So I end up making it back to my work, and by this point, like, I'm so terrified. By the time I get back to my work, I realize this is probably who the cops were looking for this whole time. And I opened up my coffee, and my coffee is actually cold, so not cold but like lukewarm, so it wouldn't have done me any good to like scorch this guy's face with coffee or something. It probably wouldn't have worked anyways, but you know, that was my my only form of defense at that time. So yeah, if you guys learn anything from this video, it will be to not walk alone in a parking lot at night by yourself. If you can avoid it at all costs, just don't do it. It's a lot safer to be walking on a sidewalk where there's, you know, there's like businesses that are still open and stuff like that that you can run to for help if you need to. And yeah, I really just hope this doesn't happen to anyone else, because honestly I was really scared. And I know it didn't seem like it on the phone when I was talking to my boyfriend, but I tried to like be calm and stuff, like, oh, there's just this guy chasing me, you know, no big deal. But it was really scary. So I suggest, you know, walking in a well-lit area, don't cut through parking lots, and if you're going on a Timmy's run at night, please don't go by yourself, because it can get a little scary out there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye everyone.
We falling apart, still we hold together. We pass the end, so we chase forever. Guess this is